When we last left Daniel, his friend Tony was on the phone, voice shaking, asking him a single question. Had anybody died this week? Daniel had hung up and told himself the man was simply going mad. He turned his wrist over in the morning light and looked at the mark. A small dark stain under the skin. It is nothing, he told himself. A bruise, a trick of the light, nothing at all. And the money was still there. Bag after bag of it, more than one man could ever spend in a lifetime. So Daniel did the only thing that made the fear go quiet. He spent. For the first time in his life, he was somebody. New clothes, a new car. He picked up every bill, gave to every beggar, and people who once mocked him now called him a big man. He moved his mother out of that cramped room into a fine house with a garden. She was strong again. She praised God morning and night for her son's great breakthrough. He bought Sarah a ring. A real one this time. She wept and laughed and held it to the light, and they set a date at last. For a few sweet weeks, Daniel almost forgot. And then came the last day of the month. His neighbor, a gentle old man who greeted him every morning, was found dead in his chair, peaceful, no illness, no reason anyone could name. Old men die, Daniel told himself. It happens every day. He went to the burial, he shook the hands, he said the right words. And he said nothing about the cold thing turning in his chest. But after that, he began to watch the calendar. He could not help it. He marked the days and he waited, and he hated himself for waiting. The next month, the very last day, a former classmate drowned. A strong swimmer, they said, in calm and shallow water. They had only just spoken, only just become friends again. The month after that, the landlord, the same hard man who had taped the eviction notice to Daniel's door, who had shamed him in front of the whole compound. Found slumped dead at his desk. 3 deaths, 3 last days of 3 months. Daniel sat alone with a calendar spread before him, and a cold and terrible understanding rising in him that he could not push back down. Every single death landed on the same day. The last day. The same day the money quietly renewed itself in his bag, fuller and heavier than the month before. And every one of those mornings, in his trouser pocket, he found the same thing waiting. A single, smooth, white cowrie shell that he had never put there. The mark on his wrist was faint no longer. It had spread, dark and cert, creeping up the inside of his arm, reaching slowly toward his elbow like a stain that would never wash out. This time it was Daniel who called Tony. And this time it was Daniel whose voice was shaking. Tell me what I did, he begged. Tell me what this thing is. Tony came to him that night, and he looked 10 years older than his age. His hands trembled. His eyes kept moving to the door, to the windows, as if something might be listening. And finally, Tony told him the truth. The money feeds, he said. You did not read the small print because there is no paper. There is no contract, it simply takes. Every month it collects, Tony whispered. Always someone close to you. You do not get to choose who, it chooses. And once it has tasted your life, it never, ever stops. All of it, Tony said, the cars, the gold, the houses, all of it was bought with other people's lives. He had been feeding it for years, and he was so tired, so afraid. Daniel refused to believe it. He would give it back. He would stop spending, he would starve the thing, he would undo whatever he had done in that house of candles. That midnight, he gathered every last note, stuffed them into the bag until it would barely close, drove to the water's edge, and threw the whole cursed thing into the black lagoon. He drove home empty-handed and lighter than he had felt in months. He had beaten it. He had finally let it go. He woke at dawn. His foot found something under the bed. The bag was back, soaked, dripping lagoon water onto his floor, and somehow heavier. The money had multiplied, like it was laughing at him. Desperate, Daniel remembered something Tony had let slip. This thing, it runs in blood. And he thought for the first time in years of his father, dead and buried since Daniel was a boy. In his mother's new house, among the old cartons, there was one box his father had always kept locked. A box Daniel, as a child, had been forbidden ever to open. He broke the lock with shaking hands. Inside lay his father's things. Faded photographs of a young man who looked just like him. And at the very bottom, wrapped in cloth, a book, a ledger, handwritten. Page after page after page of names. Hundreds of them, each one neatly crossed out. Decades of the dead in one careful, patient hand. And Daniel's blood turned to ice in his veins. Because the handwriting filling his dead father's ledger, line after line after line, looked exactly, impossibly like his own. With a dry mouth, he turned to the final page, where the most recent names sat crossed out, their ink long faded and brown with all the passing years. And there, beneath them all, was one new name, the only one not yet crossed out. Written in fresh, wet ink that he himself had never written. The name was Sarah.